Hello everyone, peace be with you. I hope you're doing well. It's me, Sammy. I'm here with another discussion. We're back. So we had a very deep discussion, about the createdness of the Qur'an. Or rather, is the Qur'an created versus is the Qur'an eternal and uncreated? We went into detail. We went into a deep discussion, as I said. It was a deep discussion. But the point was made, and it was well made. It was a centuries and centuries long debate, but this section did more than justice to that debate and to close that debate, to put a seal on it, to seal it shut, to close it. If anyone has any doubt after hearing the points that were presented, I don't know what to think of such a person. Maybe they need time to absorb it. I don't know. But it shouldn't have been an issue to begin with. But it was. It was. The devil, Satan, will do what he does in order to destroy the ummah, the Islamic nation. The Islamic nation meaning the nation that submits to God. That's what I mean when I say Islamic. When I say Islamic, I don't mean people who wear white caps, skull caps, and long white garments. I mean people who submit to God. Okay, that's what I mean, because that is the meaning of Islam, submission to God, in the English language. So, and in the Arabic language, Islamic or Islam means submission to God, just as it does in the English language when you translate it. So, now we arrive at a part of the text which in which we continue with the words of Imam al-Hadi, because don't forget, this text is a commentary of Imam al-Hadi ila al-Haq Yahya ibn al-Husayn. He is a member of the progeny of the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him. This is the commentary of his book, The Fundamentals of the Religion. This book is called, as you can see, The Establishment of Clear Exposition, a commentary on al-Hadi's The Fundamentals of the Religion by the Imam Rassi Society. They're a great organization. You can reach out to them. Last time when I gave you the email, I think I said .com. I was told that I said .com. I'll give you the email address just a moment. Or it might not be included in this book, actually. It might be in the other book. It might be here, actually. Let me take a look. So I don't see it on this book, but I believe, I'm not going to tell you what I believe because I don't want to give you guys any guesses. In any case, I'll give you guys their contact info in case you have any questions, in case you want to contact them about anything. But it gives me the opportunity, which I wanted to use anyway, to say that this is a great book that you should get. And also The Sincere Friend by The Sincere Friend of the Qur'an. It's a book called The Sincere Friend of the Qur'an, recent release. The Sincere Friend of the Qur'an, the collected speeches and letters of Imam Zayd ibn Ali. I highly, strongly recommend you get that book. You can find it on lulu.com. I don't know if it's on Amazon. I don't think it is. This book I had seen on Amazon. I believe it was new. But you find these books on lulu.com. That book includes the email address to the Imam Rassi Society. I think it's Imam Rassi Society at gmail.com. I think I said something like last time. I think I may have just said .com, or I said I don't know. I gave, it might be Imam Rassi Society at gmail.org. I don't know. I'm not sure. In any case, so yes. So that book I recommend you guys get as well. I don't have it with me right now, but I'll bring it just to show you guys what it looks like, and because that book Uh, that book is amazing. That book, I mean, I can't put it down. I can't put it down once I start reading it. So, in any case, our program today will be about the revelation of the Qur'an. So, we finished the Qur'an, created or eternal. We completed talking about the speech of God being created. We went deep into that. You can see that on the previous discussions. Now we continue our journey with this book, which is the words of Imam Al-Hadi, peace be upon him. He revealed the Qur'an to his prophet, upon him be peace. So, again, this book is a commentary, which means of Imam Al-Hadi's book. So, what we see is the words of Imam Al-Hadi and then a commentary, an explanation, an analysis. Okay, so without further ado, I begin in the name of God, the compassionate, the merciful. I praise and I glorify him as he ought to be praised and glorified. He revealed the Qur'an. These are the words of Imam Al-Hadi. He revealed the Qur'an to his prophet, upon him be peace. Now we go into the commentary. God the Exalted revealed the Qur'an to his messenger, Muhammad ibn Abdullah. That was the Prophet Muhammad's name. Muhammad, son of Abdullah. Or Abdullah. This is an Arabic grammar thing. I encourage those of you, including myself, I encourage you to study Arabic grammar. It's fairly easy. There's a book that I can recommend you called, I believe it's called The Essentials of Quranic Grammar or Quranic Arabic. It's by, I forget his name, but it's a 2-volume paperback black book with a picture of a keyhole, maybe a key as well, a keyhole, and the Qur'an in that keyhole. So black, and then I forget though I forget the name of the author. In any case, it's a good book. Very comprehensive and very learn Arabic grammar, God willing. So Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, his father's name was Abdullah, servant of God. So God the Exalted revealed the Qur'an to his messenger, Muhammad ibn Abdullah. Peace and blessings be upon him and his progeny. We testify that the messenger of God received divine messages from on high, and that he, peace and blessings be upon him and his progeny, was the last messenger sent to humankind. So he was the last messenger. There were other messengers who came before him, like Jesus, Moses, Abraham. These were messengers. Muhammad was the last of them. The author of Al-Iqd al-Thamin fi Ma'rifati Rabbil Alameen, the author of Al-Iqd al-Thamin fi Ma'rifati Rabbil Alameen, we mentioned him earlier on. I forget his name. I believe we mentioned him earlier on. He says that regarding him, peace and blessings be upon him, regarding the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him and his progeny. So the author of that book says the following: it is from necessary knowledge that he was from the tribe named Quraysh. That was the name of the tribe of the Prophet. I want to make something clear. When we use the term tribe, it could be that a person thinks of tribe as a group of people who just maybe jump around and dance all the time. That's not what tribe necessarily means. A tribe is a group. It's a group of people who belong to common ancestry. They have they share a common culture, common language. They're just the same people essentially. So let's say that I had children and they had children. When my descendants could be known as a tribe, the tribe of Sami, going back to me being the head of this tribe, like the children of Israel. They were 12 tribes. This is something I want to make clear, because I feel like when we think tribes, we might think the wrong thing. That's what tribe means. For example, my mother is from an East African tribe, but it doesn't mean that necessarily that it doesn't necessarily mean that it could mean that it's a group that lives, outside and has its customs, but that's not necessarily what it means. It just means a group of people. That's not to say that those who live outside, some of which are, who may live lives which are not, I wouldn't call it healthy, but it's not necessarily that. That might be like a kind of stereotype. It just means a group of people. So that's how it is. So that's the meaning of tribe. A tribe is a group. In Iraq they have tribes, and maybe I believe other parts of the Arab world they have tribes. Some countries don't have. I don't think they have tribes these days, but traditionally there were tribes. Just to be clear. So it is from necessary knowledge that he was from the tribe named Quraysh. In this tribe, there was a family named Bani Hashim. Bani Hashim, you could say, was a clan, perhaps. A family named Bani Hashim, the descendants of Hashim, or the children of Hashim. In this family, in this family was a man named Muhammad ibn Abdullah. It is from the necessary knowledge that he had the prophetic mission and came with the Qur'an after his prophetic mission. He came with challenging verses that he recited to the polytheists, those people who used to worship idols. I believe at least some of them used to worship God, but as well as idols, which might be why they were known as mushrikeen, people who assign partners to God. Perhaps, maybe, that might be a possibility, that they believed in God, but also in other gods, with God. They assigned partners to God, in the literal sense. I believe. I could be wrong. But in any case, they believed in multiple gods. They were known as polytheists. Mushrikun in Arabic, or mushrikeen. So, he came with challenging verses that he recited to the polytheists. They heard it and were finished by its eloquence. They were taken away by its eloquence. It is from necessary knowledge. It is from necessary knowledge that they showed great enmity against him. They showed great enmity. They hated the Prophet Muhammad. They knew what he came with, but they hated him. They showed great enmity against him. It is a tenet of our belief that each prophet received miracles from God to justify his claim as a prophet. Each prophet, from Adam to Muhammad, received a miracle, received miracles from God to justify his claim as a prophet. A miracle is defined. So a miracle, what is a miracle? We hear this word quite often. And it's okay. I don't see any problem saying, wow, it's a miracle. Like babies being born. Wow, that's a miracle. I don't think there's anything wrong with saying these things. But what a miracle is, what it really is. What is a miracle exactly? How do we define a true absolute miracle? Is as follows. A miracle is defined as a supernatural occurrence that cannot be duplicated or challenged by its like. You can't duplicate it or challenge it. That's what a miracle is. That's a miracle. Something that's just impossible. Impossible. It cannot happen. Something that a scientist would tell you is impossible. Impossible. It cannot happen. Which is what they do, because a lot of them, not all of them, because they don't believe. A lot of them have drowned themselves in worldly knowledge, but have not understood the science, if you will, of spirituality. They have not understood that. And that is where they fall short. They have limited themselves. We, those who submit to God, we do not limit ourselves. We don't limit ourselves. We believe that anything can happen. We believe that the ground could be in the sky and the sky could be where the ground is. If God wants, why not? It's God. So, the prophet of God, Moses, known as in Arabic as Musa, known in Tigrinya and Amharic as Musa. The prophet of God, Moses, upon him be peace, encountered the magicians and illusionists of the Pharaoh. When he produced the miracle of converting a staff into a snake, they saw that this miracle of Moses could not be challenged. Those magicians and illusionists, they saw that this was a miracle that could not be challenged. You have to remember that those people were masters of magic, trickery, deception, deceiving your eyes. They make you see something, but it's not real. It's an illusion. So they were masters of this, if you want to call it a science, or if you want to call it an art. It's not a good art. I mean, I don't think there's any problem with, me showing you a coin and just, making it disappear using some kind of, just some, child's play, nothing wrong with that. But if I'm here summoning, demons and stuff, that's a whole nother story. So, but these people were magicians and illusionists. When he produced the miracle of converting a staff into a snake, they saw that this miracle of Moses could not be challenged. They then became his followers and worshippers of the one true God. This happened. Similarly, the prophet of God, before we get to Jesus, they worshipped God because they understood that this is no magic. This is no magic trick. This is no illusion. This is real. What he's doing is real. What we're doing is trickery. We're playing a trick. What Moses just did is not a trick. They knew that because they were, you could say it could be perhaps because they were so well versed in the art of illusion, in the art of making people see something that's not really what they think they see. You understand? So they then became his followers and worshippers of the one true God. Similarly, the prophet of God, Jesus, upon him be peace, had the miraculous ability to heal the sick and raise the dead. Many people came to worship the one true God by means of his miracles. However, we affirm that the miracle of the Qur'an is the lasting testament regarding the truthfulness of the prophethood of Muhammad. Peace and blessings be upon him and his progeny. Although he was known to have performed many miracles by the permission of God, the Qur'an was the greatest miracle. The author of Kitab نظرات في ملامح المذهب الزيدي وخصائصه. So it's called Kitab, I believe it's نظرات. Kitab نظرات في ملامح المذهب الزيدي وخصائصه. Says, the author of that book, who's unnamed, says, we say that Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him and his progeny, is the prophet. He is a messenger from God, the exalted, God the exalted. He came with the Qur'an as a witness to his claim in favor of his prophethood. So the Qur'an was a witness to his claim in favor of his prophethood. Meaning he came, he claimed that he was a prophet. The Qur'an was the witness. The exalted, God, the exalted, says, and if you are in doubt as to what we have revealed from time to time to our slave, meaning Muhammad, then produce a chapter like it. So God says what? He says, and if you are in doubt as to what we have revealed from time to time perhaps because it was revealed in stages, the Qur'an. And if you are in doubt as to what we have revealed from time to time to our slave, meaning Muhammad, then produce a chapter like it, and call your witnesses or helpers besides God if you are true. Qur'an 2:23. The beliers were not able to answer this challenge, So they resorted to warfare. They could not answer it. They could not produce the likes of the Qur'an. Why I believe so? Something I want to make clear is that the polytheists, they were expert poets. They were experts in, you can say in Arabic grammar. They were very, very deep in Arabic grammar. They understood their Arabic was impeccable. So much so that their poetry was very strong because of the grammar, because of they used to have, like freestyle circles that people, I don't promote, a lot of rap because of, the content and the energy that is, but if you want to say, how people have like spoken word poetry, these types of things, they used to have what's similar to that. In my understanding, a poet would say something and people would gather around. And so they were the masters of language. So the Qur'an, having been revealed, was revealed in the language that they understood to be powerful language. For us, regular folk, regular as we're not regular in that they're better than us. No, we're better than them. They're those polytheists. But I mean us, regular in that our understanding of Arabic, many of us, is not as deep. So it could be that when we read the Qur'an, we might say, wow, what a mighty verse. But those people had no reason to reject the Qur'an due to how mighty it was, because they understood its power via its language. You even find mufassirun, the exegetes, those who commentate on the Qur'an, those who explain the Qur'an and interpret the Qur'an, you'll find them using poetry, Arabic poetry, pre-Islamic Arabic poetry to justify. We even had some evidence here in this book. But you'll find them using if I'm not mistaken, pre-Islamic poetry to justify, to explain a verse. To explain a verse, or a word, or a part of a verse. The Arabs had no reason to reject the Qur'an. It was indeed a miracle. The beliers were not able to answer this challenge. The challenge of God saying, produce a chapter like the Qur'an. If you are true, if you're truthful people, produce a chapter. And call your witnesses or helpers besides God. If you're truthful, the beliers were not able to answer this challenge, so they resorted to warfare. Their resorting to warfare proves that they weren't able to produce a chapter like it. Yes, even now, no one has produced a chapter like it. More than 14 centuries have passed from then to now. There has not been anything from the opposition. Nothing. Not one verse of the Qur'an, or of anything like the Qur'an, rather, equal to the Qur'an. Nothing has been produced. There has not been anything from the opposition. This challenge has existed in the presence of the beliers. Had it been possible to do so, human beings would have done so by now. So this challenge has existed in the presence of the beliers. Had it been possible to do so, human beings would have done so by now. They haven't. Okay. Let's I'm going to split this section into two parts. For two reasons. One, because I'm running short on time, and two, because another reason which might be beneficial is to perhaps attract more viewers. This subject is very, very important. It's a very beautiful subject. It's a very important subject. When I say subject, I mean everything in this book. And perhaps shortening the episodes, the discussions might attract more viewers. So it's, I guess in this case now, it's a double benefit. But we can get more viewers, God willing. So let's continue. Okay. So the like of the Qur'an has not yet been produced, even with modern technology. Google, AI, ChatGPT, I don't think they'd be able to. It's not that I don't think, I'm confident they would not be able to do anything. If anything, they might manipulate words of the Qur'an and then use that to kind of reproduce something which is similar to a verse, but having used the Qur'an. They won't be able to produce anything like it on their own. You can put a man on Mars, a walking man. You can put a walking man on Pluto. You can't do this. I mean, he might freeze, but you can't. You cannot produce a Qur'an. And looking at the Qur'an and then feeding an AI tool the Qur'an and then having it do something, that would be cheating, because it would be using something to it would be using the Qur'an. It would have depended on the Qur'an at the end ultimately. So which doesn't count, you know. So the like of the Qur'an has not yet been produced, even with modern technology and the study of the Arabic language. People have studied this language for centuries. Even with modern technology and the study of the Arabic language, the challenge to produce the like of the Qur'an has not been met. There are many non-Muslim scholars of Arabic, as well as Arab Christians, atheists, and the like. However, not one of them has been able to produce even a verse similar to the divine eloquence of the Qur'an. I want to say that there is a group. It's called in Arabic, I think their channel, YouTube channel, is called Al-Haqiqatul Al-Murra, or which translates to the sour truth, or maybe it's I don't know if it's Al-Haqiqatul Sa'ba. Anyway, the difficult truth or the sour truth. They're Arabs. By the dialect, it sounds like they're from Iraq. By the dialect. They're Christians. And I have emailed them. Not in a negative way. More of a kind of in a peaceful way, questioning what they have, because what they do, questioning what they have to say, because what they do is they bring books written by Muslims, those who identified with Islam, scholars, books of tafsir, different books, to try to negate Islam. They try to negate Islam. One of their arguments is that the Sahaba could not agree on one Qur'an. You can actually find them by searching, if you search Tahrif al-Qur'an, the altering of the Qur'an. In any case, they're Arabs, they read, and they're Christians. So this talk about Arab Christians is very crucial to have brought up. It's very important. It's very good that the brothers and sisters brought that word, Arab Christians, because the Arab Christians, there are Arab Christians who study what we have and they try to disprove us. They have a hatred for us. I don't think it's even based on truth and falsehood. I think it's just hatred, to be quite honest. That's what I think. I don't think it matters if you give them proof or not, to many of them. Not all of them, but many of them. I think they just have a hatred for why? I don't know. Where the hatred stems from, I don't know. But I believe it's a hatred. And ultimately a hatred for truth. It's a hatred for the truth. A hatred that this person has something that I don't, maybe like, you have something that's better than me, but I'm so proud of what I have that I don't want to leave it type of thing. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. God knows best, but that's what I feel. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong. But they do study, and and may these discussions, if they view them, may this be a witness against those who want to belittle us, and who want to make us look like a kind of backward-minded fool. Or rather, they want to make us look like backward-minded fools, which is something we're not. Maybe there are those who identify with Islam who are backward-minded fools, who we consider to be backward-minded fools. But we who adhere to the teachings, the true teachings of the Prophet, which agree with the Qur'an and agree with the basic intellect, we are not backward-minded fools. So if you'll notice that YouTube channel, they're always using Sunni books. I haven't seen them mention Shia books, even 12er Shia. I haven't seen them. Let them bring whatever book they want to bring. But I believe once they reach texts like these, I don't think they'll be able to refute. You can't. This is the end of the line. You can read a book like Tafsir al-Qurtubi or Tafsir al-Tabari or something like that. You can read those books and you could find what makes sense and what doesn't make sense. The authors themselves will give you different views, those authors. But when you read those texts, those are interpretations of the Qur'an. It could be this, it could be that, no problem. Nothing wrong with different interpretations, especially if they both are not, they don't disagree with Tawheed, with monotheism. But once you get to creed, the subject of belief, the main subject of belief, this is the end of the line. This is the support. This is the support for the Qur'an. The Qur'an doesn't need support. But if someone chooses to support the Qur'an by writing a book, I see no issue with that. It's just like a person verbally saying that he supports the Qur'an and giving evidence for why the Qur'an is supreme, why it's a book of truth, why it's the book of truth, the book of truth. So let this be a witness against those who wish to attack us and put us down, for they are gravely mistaken, and if they believe that Jesus belongs to them, that's false. He doesn't belong to those who are deceivers and who are deceived. Jesus, son of Mary, is for those who are righteous. He came to all people. He came to those who ended up deceiving and are deceived. But so long as they deceive and are deceived, he disowns them. They are disowned by Jesus, son of Mary, thinking that they belong to him and thinking that they follow him sincerely, when in reality they don't follow Jesus Christ. They don't follow Jesus, the son of Mary. Okay, let's read this last paragraph here. The Arabs of the past prided themselves on the ability to recite eloquent poetry that was unparalleled. It was unmatched. Many of these poems are available for one to peruse and marvel at their eloquence. They're still available today. However, once the Qur'an was revealed, the best of the Arab poets could not contend with it. This testifies to the miraculous nature of the divine book, as well as the unlettered Prophet Muhammad. Unlettered, I believe, so I don't know what the view of the modern Zaidi is, but unlettered generally means illiterate, that the Prophet could not read, could not write, in my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is in my understanding. And even if he could not read and could not write, there is no shame and nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. So this testifies to the miraculous nature of the divine book as well as the unlettered prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, and his progeny that it was revealed to. Okay, so the poets, they could not contend with the Qur'an. And this testifies because they were the best of the best in their era, in their time. They were the best of the best, but they could not compete with the Qur'an. So that's what we have for today. Next time we're going to continue. Next we're going to the next discussion. In the next discussion, we're going to continue with just trying to. Yeah, we're going to continue with this, with the miracle of the Qur'an, in my understanding. To be honest with you, I did not get to this part on my own yet. I did not reach this part. So I did not reach to this. I did not reach this part. That's what we're going to be continuing with, the revelation. And I believe it's the miraculousness of the Qur'an. So this is something to ponder on. This is something to think about. This is something to really, to just take the time to think about, about the Qur'an and what. So if you have a Qur'an at home, look at it, open it, and read it. If you do not understand what you're reading, that's okay. But seek Arabic grammar to get yourself somewhere. I'm doing this, by the way. So to get yourself somewhere. When you get yourself to the point of understanding, you'll be able to read books that are in Arabic, and you may not understand everything in those books, but you will get better and better and better to the point where you might run into a poem or more, or more than one poem, and you might not understand, but when you see the interpretation, you might be like, that's an interesting poem, an Arabic poem. The point is that you'll understand more and more why the Qur'an is so special. I understand that the Qur'an is special, but I don't think I have understood how special it truly is. Meaning I have not reached that level where I have really, really, really realized how special it is, how unique it is. The way I don't have the not yet anyway. We can all gain this. I don't have the skill that those polytheists who believed in multiple gods, the skill that they had to understand this beautiful revelation. They understood it. Okay? So in any case, we'll leave it there. I'll see you guys on the next discussion, God willing. Keep safe. Read. Study. Get that book, The Sincere Friend of the Qur'an, the collected speeches and letters of Zayd ibn Ali. Okay, and you'll see that book is just, it's pristine. It's a very easy to read book, very deep. The messages are strong. I could go on and on. Okay, so look it up at the very least. Look it up. And buy it, get it. It's not about buying and selling. It's about obtaining. Obtain it. Obtain the book. This book, by the way, you can find online. Search. The way that I found is easiest is, for me, is just searching Imam Rassi Society Scribd, SCRIBD. Googling that. Just Google that. Imam Rassi Society, IMAM space RASS as in Sam, I Society space Scribd, SCRIBD, and this book, the Establishment of Clear Exposition, might even be the first one to show up, because when I've searched it by typing it, I don't think I found it. I don't know if it's due to a typo on the other end. I'm not sure, but that was my last experience doing that, or my second to last experience. In any case, you can find this on Scribd, this book in particular. All right, so we will part ways for now. I'll see you guys next time, God willing. We'll continue talking about the Qur'an and its story. I would say its story and its miraculousness and its virtue, God willing. Until then, keep safe and always keep safe, and I'll see you next time, God willing. Peace be with you.